Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Cassidy Hutchinson has a book out, and in the book, it's revealed that on January 6th, Rudy Giuliani came up to her with a stack of documents saying basically he had the documents they needed to overturn the election, something along those lines. And he got in really close to her and pressed his documents up against her and then moved his hand over under her blazer and to her skirt, commenting that he liked the leather jacket she was wearing, and then proceeded to grope her. Yeah, that's a visual that you didn't need. She's a little bit more descriptive, and I don't want to get much more descriptive than that. At one point, she said she looked over at John Eastman, like, can you get a hand here? And she described him as having a Cheshire-like grin, just laughing or leering at her. And she got herself out of that situation soon afterwards. Now, Giuliani is saying that's a lie. Eastman is saying that he doesn't remember that, so, whatever. But all I have to say is Cassidy Hutchinson wrote a book, and there is no sense in creating a lie about being sexually molested by Rudy Giuliani. It's not going to really do a whole lot for the book sales, other than the fact that we're discussing it. But, it's not good if it opens you up to defamation. So I'm of the opinion that happened. And it's not like Rudy's clean, just think back to the Borat video. And he's reaching down his pants with a young woman inside the hotel room that she brought him up to do an interview with him, and Borat jumped out to basically intervene because Sacha Baron Cohen didn't trust Giuliani at that point, and he cut the skit off early. Giuliani, he's shown that he's a drunk and he's a creep, plain and simple. But let's go ahead and see what the cards have to say. Cassidy Hutchinson's book revealing a story about Giuliani and assault. What's the energy around that? Entertainment purposes only. Okay, we've got the Two of Wands here. This is a planning. I think what this is that when she was writing the book, she was trying to decide if she was going to include this story in the book itself. And it can also be, is that what it is? It's partly that. I think this is also there's a couple things going on here. First off, after she testified, or when she was going to testify before the January 6th committee, she had to decide what she was going to do. Because if you testify, say goodbye to your conservative cred, your street cred. She's not going to get the jobs at those PACs and think tanks and stuff along those lines. And what you're going to get are offers you don't like. But I think this is also, when she's describing in the book with Giuliani coming in, she had to think about whether she was going to do it because, again, she's going to cause some turmoil that she doesn't really want to face. But, just like her January 6th testimony, what's more important? Having a calm, peaceful existence or going out there and saying the truth and dealing with the consequences of it? And there's no good choices with it. You're supposed to be able to tell the truth and everything's supposed to be good. But as we can see, telling the truth doesn't do you much good. Lying is easier. And the Trump camp likes lying. And she even lied under when she was interviewed. It was only when she ditched the Trump lawyer and got her own lawyer did she change her testimony to give some of the most powerful testimony during the January 6th committee. In the past, the Nine of Pentacles. She's a young woman. She's 25. She's very intelligent, very well spoken. She probably had a comfortable living, and she was setting herself up for a really comfortable living because, she worked under Mark Meadows. She was basically working for Trump's, come on, David, pull out, chief of staff. So, she's under Trump's chief of staff, and she was a valued member. He was doing a lot of mentoring with her, and she was going to be a big-time conservative Republican player going forward. Current situation is the Ten of Pentacles. Part of the book it's going to be to raise money. I'm sure she got paid a healthy sum to write this book, and the publisher probably was encouraging her to share this story because it's going to increase book sales because, now you've got this sex scandal that's in there. Did it have to be in there? No. But I think it was truthful on that one. But I would expect the Republicans are going to go after her, saying that she's just trying to profit off this book. She's just being greedy, and that's why she said this. Just taking him down a peg. But again, that's not who this woman seems to be. The overarching energy is, again, a real contemplation of, do you really want to share this story? Because you know what they're going to do if you share this story. Do you want to keep it to yourself? Maybe the Me Too movement emboldened her to want to share this story more than before. Something that she may have kept to herself. She went ahead and talked about it. It's out there now. It's out there now. And, if Giuliani wants to sue her for defamation, go for it. You don't have two dimes to rub together, but go ahead and sue her and prove it. He won't be able to prove it. That's the thing. And so he's not going to. He'll scream bloody murder, but there's nothing he can do. The book's been written. The deal is done. And I think in some ways she's exposed to the world yet another aspect of Rudy Giuliani that shows who this man isn't. Not who we thought he was, who he isn't. Outcome, 10 of Cups. I think this is going to bring closure to her by talking about it and bringing it out. This brings closure to her. And I think that it's like she's more celebrated. She's happier. She got it off her chest. Maybe people that weren't real thrilled with her before are a little bit more sympathetic for understanding what she was going through. That, this good old boys club, the old white men that molest young women, she's outing them. And again, they're going to kick and scream and raise hell over it. But that doesn't mean it didn't happen. That just means they're screaming and yelling and kicking. And maybe if she speaks out, then it doesn't happen again. Or maybe the next guy doesn't do it. Maybe he thinks twice. Or she lets women be more aware of what's going on so they don't get themselves in a position. Or they just turn around and belt Giuliani and knock him on his ass. That might be good too. Having some woman with some stilettos just drive her heel into his foot, and while he's kicking in pain, kick him in the crotch or knee him in the face, depending on how low that man's head goes. That might be. It would be hard for him to explain why a woman did that, and he's not going to want, like, jeez. That gal over there, she just stepped on your foot and kneed you in the face. What did you say? What did you do? I didn't do nothing. So they asked the woman what happened. Yeah, I reached up my skirt, pervert. Who do you think they're going to believe? Her actions would jive with what she said happened, where Rudy's wouldn't. This is like back to elementary school. You know who the liar is because you can look at other data to support that. Okay. How's Rudy doing with all this? Now that this revelation came out, what's Rudy feeling? I really don't care what Rudy's feeling, but I thought we'd ask. Rudy, what are you doing? Planning your next move? Ready to flee the country, are you? He's trying to think of what he wants to do next, but he's got no freaking money. He'd love to go after her. He's got no money, though. He's got other things that are more important than this book that he has to deal with. Got the Magician, Queen of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Six of Coins. Yeah, he would want to go after her to protect his reputation, but he's got no ability to raise money. He's powerless in here. And as much as he wants to be, the mayor of New York and this powerful attorney, he's got no power because he's got no money. Literally, all these other lawsuits have totally neutered him. It's interesting because you'll see the same thing happens with Trump. As more and more of his money goes away, the weaker he gets. Because he can't just throw a bunch of money at it. Now, Trump at least has a reputation and people might be willing to work with them. But Trump, again, doesn't pay his lawyers. And lawyers leave when they don't get paid. And the good lawyers won't take them on. So you get the lousy lawyers. And if you don't have the money to keep filing lawsuits and stuff like that, you're weakened. Okay. How's Cassidy Hutchinson going to fare with all this? Dropping cards here. How is Cassidy Hutchinson going to fare with all this? Okay. Let's see. A little 4-carder on Cassidy. Okay. We have the 3 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, Knight of Cups, Page of Wands, Ace of Swords. Okay. She thinks she made her point. She was basically speaking the truth, and she was going forward with the truth. There's deals going on behind the scenes. I don't know if this is, I don't know if this would be for another book deal. Maybe this is like a book tour or something like that, or getting booked onto television shows to discuss this further because this book just came out. I think, again, she's going to go forward with her story. She's going to get a lot of criticism for it from, again, a lot of basically white men who tend to molest young women. Old white men are going to be fighting and trying to take her down. But she's got her message, and she's going to go forward with her message. This is a new action for her. She's going forward. And I think she's going to come across as very likable because she's speaking the truth. And it's going to be obvious she's speaking the truth on that one. So her life is taking an interesting path. I don't envy her for what she had to endure to get on this path. But I do think she's going to do good things on this path. And just want to take a second here to acknowledge that I've talked about this subject before, and I've had viewers comment about the harassment that they've suffered. Whether it's MJ that went through that in the 60s or early 70s at the law firm she was working at, I believe, to other women that have had to endure these wealthy, powerful men, or just men in positions of leadership, just treating them like they're a commodity. They're there for their sexual interests and fantasies, and they should just be grateful. They all basically, all these guys think they're like James Bond, and women should just be falling at their feet. Toxic masculinity through and through. So I just want to acknowledge that. I understand that this might trigger you, and I'm sorry for what you've gone through. But it's those scars that make you the beautiful, strong women that you are now. So wear them proudly. I'm sorry you had to go through it, though. I wouldn't have wished you to get scars that way at all. But Yeah, lesson learned. And you're there to help the next generation of women and the generation of women after that to not put up with that garbage. Thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for your likes and your shares and your comments to feed the YouTube algorithm beast so that my videos make it out to new viewers. And to those new viewers, I hope you found this reading entertaining and informative. I hope you subscribe to the channel so you get notifications for my videos when they come up next. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.